If you're looking to turn your own campaigns into greatest hits, then you are in the right place. So please, let's give it up for the brilliant and ever tuned in Alyssa Medina.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna...
Hello, good morning. Welcome everyone. My name is Alyssa Medina. Just a little bit about me. I have the ultimate growth strategy right now. I am 6 months pregnant. Yeah, woo! Traveled here from LA on Monday morning and just super excited to talk to you guys. Just a little bit about me. I have a 13-year career in marketing and CRM. Once worked for NBC4 in LA, Amazon Music, and now I'm at Pandora and SiriusXM. I also founded Fembot Magazine, which was an award-winning online feminist newsletter for millennials and Gen Z. I also was published by Cornell University, and I have a master's in media and culture and communication from NYU. I did a 60-page thesis on Reddit and algorithms 8 years ago, so no ChatGPT at that time. So super excited to spend some time talking about our roadmap and our personalization. Just a little bit about Pandora. Pandora was founded in 2000. SiriusXM acquired them in 2019, so it's been a little bit of a road. You can also hover over this to get the app. The app is free. You can listen to any music for free that you want, and you'll also receive our emails that we'll be talking about a little bit later on. So a little bit about Pandora. Our main influence here is one-to-one personalization. We really want to give you a personalized listening experience, continually evolving to your tastes, but also to your listening behaviors and tracking your habits. We have all different types of music. We have new releases, singular songs, albums, but then we also have curated playlists and stations. And then we're also based on the Music Genome Project. So this is the biggest taxonomy of music ever collected for Pandora. And so you'll see that mainly this presentation is about Pandora, but feel free after this to chat with me. We could talk about SiriusXM and how it fits into the landscape. All right, so as we all know, music is extremely personal. In terms of the personalization that we do, we really want to focus on our 2025 strategy, making our strong emphasis on personalization, but also a strong emphasis on a flawless user experience that allows you to really tap into your listening habits. The way that we've done this in 2025 and 2024 is through creative optimization, limited resourcing, and our loyalty-focused strategy. And so when we say limited resourcing, we really want to talk about how APIs really enable us to have a seamless experience and enable the freshest content. You want to be listening to Sabrina Carpenter, but also receive the email the next day on what your listening habits were. And so through our creative optimization processes, we build really innovative layouts within Movable Inc. And what we see here is that we also see an increase of CTR. So our campaigns have over 100% increase in CTR once we integrated our creative ideas within Movable Inc. We also have a really strong loyalty-focused strategy in terms of elevating our engagement, making sure our fans are extremely embedded in what they're listening to, and reinforcing that long-term value. So this campaign is one of my favorites. This is something, and all the campaigns that you'll see here are something that our team has created and designed, whether it's partnering with our design team, working with Movable Inc. on these different concepts, and really focusing on how we can get different modules where it's not just one singular email, but we can recycle and reuse. So in terms of this one, this was one of our major campaigns that we converted into an API. We wanted the freshest content within our platform. And so you could see the before, we had this email, BAU strategy, simple, check out these hot beats, straight to stations. And now in the after, you could see that we integrated APIs. This is fully personalized, where if Sabrina Carpenter comes out with a new release, you'll see it the next day. And we can also integrate these modules. So within our AIQ connection API, we were able to leverage these in real time. We also allowed for users to receive one-to-one personalization. So right now you're seeing our generalized stations, but here you'll see all different types of new music that's coming out. We have Fresh Music Friday, where you'll see that email release in your inbox immediately. And our API results also showed that we have seen a strong increase in listening engagement and listening history. So when users receive these types of emails, they increase long-term value. So the way that we started off these campaigns was really simple concepting of road mapping, where we have a crawl, walk, run phase. And so, as you all know, polling and weather and countdown timers are kind of like the heart of Movable Inc. So I really wanted to take these concepts of these kind of, simple integrations where we can start kind of building with our creative team and the different types of email algorithms that we have. So in terms of this, we started a countdown timer for Sabrina Carpenter's latest release last summer. We also added weather modules in terms of our emails. So all of these interactive campaigns were dynamic content that we wanted to surprise and delight with customers. And so the weather module was actually from a built from scratch API in an Excel doc, deciding which stations from the content team, and then integrating it within Movable Inc., utilizing a user's zip code. So if you have really anything that's enabled for your users on your website, really try to think of creative concepts that you can add where you can utilize some of these, really simple apps. These types of polls served as really cultural zeitgeist moments. We use polls for Olympics, we use polls for summer hits, and what we saw here is a really strong increase in hours and listener engagement. Our next concept, after we got out of our crawl phase, is our monthly and weekly campaigns. Fun Facts Friday was an internal employee newsletter that was started from a hackathon. And so employees would circulate throughout their day. They would receive content based off their listening behavior. And so it would rank each different employee's listening behavior with another employee's listening behavior. We took that concept from the hackathon and we created our first net new Movable Inc. campaign. And so what we created is a one-to-one personalized weekly newsletter that allowed you to rank your top stations of the week, how many spins you did, your total minutes, and even your animal BPM of how fast your music was going in 9 different GIF types. And we also strongly engaged our loyals base. And so users that listen to music on a weekly basis received this content and they loved it. We had over 100% increase in CTR against our benchmarks when we introduced this newsletter. And so this dynamic email and creative layouts allowed for us to also implement collapsible modules. So if you didn't have enough listening history, that module would collapse for you, and maybe you'd get either half of the email or a quarter of the email, but at least you'd still get some type of listening history and stats. We also have fallback content. So if you don't qualify for a specific top station, you receive other content recommendations, perhaps top hits, which is one of our most notorious stations. We also implemented, after this campaign, monthly music mashup. And so we took the same concept of this campaign and we also integrated monthly listener stats. And so within this concept, Movable Inc. had already helped us build the design. And then what we did is we just copy and paste and create a monthly music mashup and just change the colors. It literally took 5 minutes. Another major campaign that we did is Year in Review. Year in Review was something that really conceptualized from one of the first playbacks, as you can see in the before picture. So back in 2019, there was an on-site experience, and users were able to click through the email and listen to all of their favorites of that year. In terms of what we did this year, we were able to create a fully integrated email newsletter with all of the stats, including 9 different mood types, 9 decade types, and extreme one-to-one personalization. And so because we didn't have resources for a microsite, we were able to utilize email and in-app messaging. And when we did this, we saw 6 times growth and standout campaign, and we saw 7 times click volume. And so what we did is we leveraged Movable Ink to evolve from this type of in-app to a scalable omni-channel campaign. The attributes included top station, mood, genre, and total spins. And so in terms of this campaign, December is our largest month for campaigns. Users love to listen to holiday music. We were able to grab them and surprise and delight in terms of a complete email experience. We also have Pandora Anniversary. So Pandora Anniversary really matriculated from this concept of users utilizing Pandora within the last 20 years. So this year is our 20-year anniversary, which is super exciting for us. And if you sign up for our email campaigns, you'll receive our email newsletter. But in terms of this campaign, we saw one-to-one true personalization with 20 different anniversary GIF types that we embedded into Movable Ink. And we also have fallback content if it's not personalized. And so within this, we are utilizing our customer retention strategy in terms of they already received this monthly music mashup, but why not conceptualize their anniversary campaigns and really surprise and delight them? So in terms of this, as we're celebrating users listening loyalty, we're also creating this kind of personalized aspect of these campaigns. Since music is so personal, we really want to touch upon how can we enhance these features and utilize Movable Ink in a way that maybe our competitors aren't utilizing. And so email is one of our strongest channels, and also in-app messaging. And so by utilizing a creative and authentic approach, we can have this type of volume to our emails and have our click base grow exponentially. And so for this campaign, it features top artists, top station, and top thumbs of your all-time 15 years. And so by taking these data assets, we're able to kind of create this really unique and informative marketing campaign. So looking ahead. So what do we have planned for next year and beyond? Right now, we're creating a mid-year in review, which allows you to look at your listening history from January to June. We're also utilizing a lot of these monthly, weekly campaigns to increase listener engagement. And we're also looking at the years ahead. How do we influence AI? How do we scope our marketing to kind of create the best, unique, creative approach that we can? So thank you so much. I have a little bit of time, so I think I could take 1 or 2 questions if anyone has any questions in terms of our marketing campaigns. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. Just to reiterate, what was the first steps to start integrating your marketing campaigns? One of our first steps was deciding the creative content. So working with the creative team, building that conceptualization of, how we want the email to look, what do our normal BAU emails look, and how do we kind of decide which stations that we want to integrate within Movable Ink. Movable Ink does a really great job of already creating those templates for you. And so if you're able to quickly conceptualize, something that I like to use is ChatGPT, where you can ask what is some type of creative element, like new music releases within an API. And you'll be able to quickly mock a layout and then send it to your creative team and then have Movable Ink also integrate it within their technology. And then also within that, I taught myself how to use Movable Ink inside the platform. And so if I have a new personalized attribute that I want to use, I could just go in, change the attribute, send it to my MI rep, and then she'll bless it, and we'll get the campaign ready to go. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a great question. So the question is, how often do you work with your creative team for this dynamic content? This dynamic content is basically a template. So if you're able to go in, have the creative team, you really have to develop a kind of repertoire with your creative team to say, hey, this is something that's dynamic. There's fallback content, which is there's a personalized aspect to it, but then we also want collapsible modules, or we want our content to be like today's hits, for example, is one that we always use. Having that kind of education to them, even early on, I had the MI team present to our creative team so that they can understand the types of conceptualization involved. And so once I asked for that, they actually created this layout for me. And they were able to kind of creatively think through how users would want to receive this type of content. And so once they created that layout, they convert it to a PSD file. You give the PSD file to Movable Ink and something called a BRD, which is something that you integrate. You have different pieces of the PSD files, and then you send it off to them, and then they create the conception for you. So this was actually one of our first campaigns that Movable Ink created for us, and it took around 3 weeks to create. And so once we were able to have that, and the 9 different GIF types, which definitely took a while to develop for our creative team. But once we had that, now I could just go in, I could change the colors of the modules. For mid-year and review, we kind of have like a summer theme, so everything's kind of blue, oceanic, and I didn't need to tap the creative team for that. I was just able to go in, integrate it, talk to my HTML manager, and then voila, the campaign was finished. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.